In Dragon Ball Super's Tournament of Power, we have seen 8 different universes coming together in order to determine who among them shall survive and not be erased by Zeno. However, among each team, there are 10 members, and among those 10 members, there must be an MVP. Well, today we're going to be starting off with Universe 7, the main universe we've been following, and asking the question, who is the MVP of Universe 7 in the Tournament of Power? Make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you can see all of my content right away when it comes out. Alright guys, so today we're breaking down who is going to be, or is, the MVP in the Tournament of Power for Universe 7, and joining me are not one, but 2 different YouTubers you've seen on my channel in the past. First off, from the land of Space Cuba, his name is...
First of all, I'm not a YouTuber, I'm a content creator, alright, let's get it straight here. And I am from Space Cuba, yeah, but not Space Puerto Rico. It's Daddy!
Is Space Cuba close to Space Australia?
No, and I'm gonna make sure it never is close. Them tectonic plates are not moving.
And joining me, formerly from Kwaman's land, and currently from the Dick Q detective organization, his name is...
Hola mi gente, my name is Opie Senpai!
But today we are going to be asking the question of who the MVP is, and first off, I am going to throw it over to the educator himself, who goes in depth about all of these topics, Geekdom 101. Who do you think the MVP is or will be for Universe 7?
Well, Quinn does too. He is also an educator. In fact, he comes from a long line of educators, believe it or not, in his family.
Big ones.
More than I do, bro. I come from a fucking line of people who ride doors to get to this country, but farmers. My choice for MVP is going to be Frieza. Not just because he is, of course, my avatar and one of my favorite characters of all time, but because he's gotten so much television time. His character, I think, is the most interesting because the reality is, no matter which way you slice it, we don't know what Frieza's fate's going to be after this tournament, and we don't know what his role is going to be. There have been several hints, several clues in some of the material, not just the Dragon Ball Heroes trailer that shows Frieza and Goku as the last 2 guys against Jiren, but also recently in the Animedia Dragon Ball Super scan, which was translated by Herms just, a few days ago, as of this recording. It actually is stated that Frieza is on the same level as Goku. Believe it or not, Frieza is on the same level as Goku, according to that scan. Again, we don't know if that's the case or if it's going to change later, but that to me is most interesting, and I think the idea of Frieza coming back one more time to fight, and what's going to be his fate and what's going to be his role. Will he be teaming up with Frost? Will he try to overthrow the gods? That to me is the most intriguing story, plus the fact that he got so damn strong, so damn fast. I have a video on my channel with Ken Downwell explaining how he was able to do that, so there is that, but I think it's hard for me to accept that Frieza is just going to go back in the cocoon.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's going to be a Universe 9 God of Destruction, whether or not he's going to be going to Universe 6 to go live happily ever after with Frost on a beach somewhere. We don't know what his fate is, but I think that's the most interesting story, is what is going to happen with Frieza during the tournament and after.
Yeah, and Frieza, of course, coming back has really kind of soaked up that spotlight to where he's really kind of taken the lead role here. And I definitely could see a great argument, as you've made, for Frieza being able to become the MVP because, I mean, he got so strong in such a short period of time, and, he's only really had, only a couple big tests in his entire life as, a real fighter, and both of them were really against Goku. So, putting Frieza out there against a bunch of fighters who are pretty close to his level could definitely see him rise to new heights that we haven't really seen before. However, Detective Q, I have to ask you who you think the MVP is going to be in this case, because I know you have a slightly different opinion here.
If I were to really think about Universe 7 and be completely unbiased in here, sorry Piccolo, I can't pick you, I would probably have to say that if you really want to look at the way the team is, I mean, can we really pick somebody other than Goku? Because if you really think about it, Goku is a character that when you look at him in the series, he's kind of the muscle of the group. He's kind of the guy that people always go to towards when things get nasty. And he and Vegeta virtually wiped out an entire team by themselves. So until I see otherwise, I have to go with the ultra cliche answer that nobody wants to hear and say that the MVP is Goku.
Yeah, and obviously Goku is the main character, the protagonist of the entire franchise that is Dragon Ball, and he's kind of the reason why this tournament happened in the first place. Plus, you know, we see him in the opening fighting against Jiren. We have, you know, all of these all but confirmations that he's going to be getting a new form in the future, or it certainly seems to be pointing in that direction, so I could definitely understand why everyone is going to be leaning in that, or many people, that Goku will be the MVP. However, I do kind of have my own choice for who I think the MVP will be, and someone I feel like this arc has kind of been pushing in the direction of the entire time, and I think that is going to be Goku's son, Gohan. And the reason why I say Gohan is we gotta think about it like this. Gohan has had a lot of spotlight kind of developed and devoted.
You're a Gohan fanboy. That's the real
aside
answer.
from that. But he's had a lot of time devoted to him this arc. You know, we saw Gohan.
Even Quinn put his crush aside and you couldn't, bro.
We saw Gohan go from a kind of weak Super Saiyan 2 to unlocking once again his ultimate form, and then training with Piccolo for, I guess, a few hours, to the point where he was suddenly able to you know, block shots and deal damage even to a Super Saiyan Blue Goku.
Wait, hold on a second, Mike. Wait, who did he train with to get that strong again?
He trained with somebody who's weak against chopsticks.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure, just to make sure that he did train with Piccolo to get to that strength. Just giving him some credit. Just continue.
They should call him Piccolo P, because he's really great at training, apparently. But even then, Goku pretty much had said, let's go to new heights together. And one of the things I did notice as well is that when Gohan was squaring off against Goku, he stated that he would want to unlock his own transformation that nobody had ever seen before. So I feel like maybe this arc, even though it'll be like a ridiculous kind of ass pull, because everyone's always saying that word, it's a big trigger word nowadays, but even though it'll be kind of ridiculous if Gohan suddenly can surpass his dad, or, you know, be able to eliminate all these people on the teams, I could definitely see him being in the MVP, because as we saw with the Future Trunks arc, this show doesn't really care about power scaling or logic when it comes to somebody just suddenly becoming OP and beating everyone, even if they're Vegito level. So, hey, maybe Gohan in this case is going to be the MVP.
I mean, he is the team captain, and I still stand by my prediction that I made like a month ago that at the end of the day, Goku and Jiren will throw themselves out like Big Show and The Rock did at the 2000 Royal Rumble, double eliminate themselves, and Gohan will be the man left standing. I still stand by that as of this recording. So I think you're onto something there. I think this might be his last hurrah before he retires and becomes a scholar forever.
Well, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, so are we pretty much saying Gohan's going to be the MVP because he's going to be like Manaka in the Universe 6 tournament? So the two Uber guys knock each other out, and then I just happen to be here, so we win? That's not a good way to go out.
Hey, a win is a win, brother. Win if you can, lose if you must. Always cheat and never get caught. So
what an MVP, bro.
Before we go, though, who do you guys think, in addition to what we picked, are kind of dark horses to be the MVP? Because the first person for me who springs to mind would have to be Android 17. He's already been shown to be pretty OP in this arc so far, being able to spar even with a suppressed Super Saiyan Blue Goku. And the guy has infinite stamina, so while everyone's wearing down, he's going to be able to keep fighting at 100%. And this most recent episode, when he was fighting against Ribrianne's fighters, you know, it showed just how OP this guy really is. So I could certainly see him being like a dark horse for the MVP, but who else do you guys think would be a possible pick?
No, I think 17 is the correct one, bro. Like, you're right. 17 is I can't think of anybody else. It's 17, dude.
You don't think Piccolo is going to get a super ultimate move after he fuses with the other Namekians, Quaman?
Well, okay, well, like I said, if I have to be completely unbiased here, and I have to put my fanboyism aside, I wouldn't think Piccolo would be a dark horse, and I would go more so towards saying Vegeta, because the reason why I'm saying Vegeta, even though it's kind of a cliche answer, is because in this tournament of power, people people have been talking about 17 and 18. They've been talking about Gohan. They've been talking about Frieza. And I think people have kind of shafted Vegeta and put him aside. And I do think that he's definitely a character who's capable of being the MVP, as he is one of the leading leaders right now when it comes to knockouts. So I would say Vegeta would be my dark horse.
As far as like the whole scale is going, I would say Vegeta is probably the second strongest, because I would say Vegeta as a blue.
Well, remember, they said that Frieza's on the same level as Goku, though.
Well, yeah, but I would say Goku is probably equal to Frieza as a regular Super Saiyan Blue, as we saw with their little sparring match. And then I think that Vegeta is stronger than Goku's regular Blue, but Goku is the strongest with his Kaioken. So I would say that, you know, they're kind of comparable as Blues, but Goku with Kaioken pushes him over the edge.
Another dark horse could also be Roshi, not in terms of being one of the last guys in, but he has been doing very well for himself, and I think that he might have something to offer as well in the tournament. He's definitely going to provide some laughs.
Is he an OG?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I still think he'd be great to win, but
He's not quite a BG, but he's
we all know
OG.
Tien isn't going to be the MVP, so there you go right there.
Sorry, Piccolo.
But anyway, guys, let us know your own thoughts down below in the comments, who you think will be the MVP for Universe 7. But also check out Quaman, because his real name is Quaman, and Geekdom 101 in the end card. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
If I was in this measly tournament, I would be the MVP of the Arnold Classic.
All I would have to do is drop my pants and beat everybody with my real bicep.